Hello everybody and welcome to the Rational Gamers Webcast Radio. This week, it's all gonna be E3. As if you couldn't guess. E3, well, this year, it's actually been quite interesting. Normally, I say, no, I'm not gonna be excited by E3. No. And then it comes on and I get, hey, something good's gonna come out and get excited. And then I get passively disappointed. This year, that only happened to a lesser extent. It always happens. You always let down a little bit by games you wanted to be announced not being announced, or just the general kind of commercial nature of it, which is kind of like the point, really, because it's there to sell games. I mean, the second after these games get announced at E3, they're on Steam, they're on Green Man Gaming, you can buy them, and quite often they've actually got a discount. So there's like £40 games, like 35 quid. Still a lot, but, you know, you buy it now, you only have to wait another year or so for it to come out. But I was actually quite impressed with some of the showings this year. Not necessarily what other people would be excited about. I know a few things people have been like, oh my fucking god, and I've been like, no. But we'll get on to all of that after we go into our first song by Imphenzia. I think that's how you say it. It's called Low Poly Universe, and it's the theme of the fantastic mobile game Plasma Sky. so I'm going to go through it kind of like conference by conference. But I just want to note a few of the major things that people have been talking about. Such as, actually I want to talk about the one thing. The Xbox One X, otherwise previously known as Project Scorpio. I was led to believe, I believed that this was an entirely new console. It was going to be like the next 9th gen console, being that the Wii, not the Wii Switch, sorry, Nintendo Switch is the first 9th gen console technically, but the kind of generations thing is kind of falling out of favour more for things becoming staggered. Nintendo always goes first, and then Microsoft and Sony catching up, but the One X is basically just another Xbox One, and I don't know what they're playing at because it's got a stupid ads which everybody's been making fun of. It's Xbox One X, which its anagram is Xbox. Yeah, just wrap your head around that. It's Sony may have uninventive naming conventions, PlayStation 1 through 4, but at least it can keep track of it. Xbox, you don't know where to go. Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X. It's all very confusing. But anyway, Sony. Speaking of Sony, they've basically been talking about. Sorry, cough. They've basically been talking about a lot of stuff that they've already really announced. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because for one, I'm very excited about the new Spider-Man game. Based in, or as far as I'm aware, based in the MCU. It's got Tom Holland. Was that his name? Tom Holland? The new Spider-Man? It's his adventure later down the line, which puts us in good stead for knowing that he's not going to be put at any kind of risk in Infinity War. But, it could be non-canon. I don't know. But I'm super excited for this game. Like, ridiculously so. Because it looks just so damn good. You've got the acrobatics and everything in there. And the open world, the massively open world. And I'm hoping that they actually fix because like Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2, the web swinging was absolutely goddamn phenomenal for the time. And the rest of the game was pretty much a piece of dog shit. But Spider-Man kind of has this issue where everybody wants to web sling and, swing through and have really fluid things, and they keep making you go to the ground, like to fight criminals and everything. I know that's Spider-Man's job and everything, but they don't. I think, yeah, we can complain, but we don't even know what we want. Not really. But they really don't know what we want. And it's kind of their job to know. Consumers never know what they want. But the new Spider-Man looks really nice. I will be playing it, and it will be goddamn awesome. I hope. The new God of War, just named God of War, has had a release date set as early 2018. Now, that's not really a release date, is it? That's kind of like a release window. A release window that many people would actually already figured out. It's like, that's not exactly a pinned down kind of time at all, is it? And it looks a nice game, but personally, I don't see the point in it. The God of War series, it had a series. It had a main trilogy and then a whole hell of a lot of other spin-off games. And it had its time. It had a beginning, middle, and ending. People liked it. And this is kind of feeling like I know they put a lot of work into it and everything, but it's feeling like a kind of cash grab. Like, oh, people used to like God of War, now let's reboot it, continue it, whatever. I haven't really been following it. I haven't still been following it. And I've not even played the original games properly. I played the first 20 minutes of the first game on my Vita, and I don't know whether it's just because it was on the Vita, but it didn't really gel with me so much. I didn't really like it all too much. But I just don't. I don't see the point in the new God of War. It's just kind of like reopening an old trilogy, the same as like Gears of War 4 did, and it kind of fell by the wayside. Destiny 2. What do you want? It's just Destiny. There was a beta going on for it at the moment. But yeah, I was never interested in the first beta. And Call of Duty World War 2 has a new multiplayer trailer. So Sony, apart from a new trailer from the Spider-Man game, they kind of kept a holding pattern. It wasn't exactly groundbreaking or anything. Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is the one that a lot of people enjoyed. There was a whole lot of other stuff, but the main one was Metroid Prime 4. That was really the only thing that people care about the Nintendo conference. I mean, yeah, you've got other things like Breath of the Wild is getting DLCs, Rocket League is coming to a Switch, but Metroid Prime 4, people goddamn love the Metroid Prime games. Unfortunately, I've never actually got around to, I've not been able to play the Metroid Prime games because I have a Wii, but I've just not got it. I never played a damn thing. It's my wife's, but people loved the Metroid Prime series, and they got really, really knocked off with Metroid Other M. And it looks like Metroid Prime 4 might be going back to, might be half decent. I've got terrible hay fever this year. I keep coughing and sneezing and everything. Yeah, I can't say I'm excited for it, but I'm excited for the people who are excited. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, before we continue, let's play another song. It's Requiem for the Gods from Symphony of the Night, and it's by Michiru Yamane. You could hear me pausing while trying to work out how to say his name. Sorry if I butchered it. So, Microsoft. The main thing was, of course, the Xbox One X. Have you worked that out yet? It's going to be $499, which is somewhat steep. and goes on sale on November 7th of this year. The big dealio is the fact that it's going to be backwards compatible. Yes, it's going to be backwards compatible with, at the very least, original Xbox games. You know, the very original. Which is kind of like the PS3 was compatible with PS1 games. But not PS2, it still isn't. And is this an attempt by Microsoft to jump forward in the console race? Because, be fair, the PS4 has kind of been kicking the crap out of Xbox this time around. The 360 did arguably better than the PlayStation 3. But this time around, the PlayStation 4 has been doing really well. And that's because of its strong complement of exclusive games. Not to mention remastered editions of the really good PS3 exclusive games like The Last of Us. But is it now that Xbox is trying to get the kind of quality of gaming by retroactively bringing in all of the other games that they've ever had? You know, all the good ones people used to like. But I don't know. We'll see. It's supposedly going to be 4K and everything. I don't really know. I mean, HD, yeah. 1080p, yeah. It makes it clear. But at this point, not a hell of a lot of people have actually got like 4K TVs or anything. I mean, a lot of gamers, like PC gamers, don't even play in 4K. That's just, I don't know. That's just a hell of a thing. Other than that, they did announce a bunch of other games, not necessarily exclusive games. They announced Forza 7, there's another Forza game, Crackdown 3. I know some people do like the Crackdown games, and I can see the appeal. They're kind of like Saints Row-y type of madness type thing. Assassin's Creed Origins actually looks good. I've become really disenfranchised with the whole Assassin's Creed thing. But they went away for a year, thought about it, and Assassin's Creed Origins actually looks kind of alright. Although, I'm kind of annoyed about the name. I realise it's taking place in ancient Egypt, and it's supposed to be the origins of the Assassin Order, or something like that. But I was led to believe the Assassins and the Templars were all related to the race before humanity. That's where they originally come from. So God knows where that title's going. It sounds like kind of Assassin's Creed Origins, one of those generic titles like Revolutions or whatever. And probably one of the biggest announcements of the whole of E3, the new IP from BioWare, you know, the Mass Effect people, Anthem. I don't know where that name come from. And has it got an anthem to, I don't know, is it a good soundtrack? Is it the anthem of this generation of gaming? I don't know. But either way, people went nuts for it. People loved the look of it. Me, not so much. Yeah, it's a multiplayer kind of focused game, open world. But the trailer, the gameplay in inverted commas, didn't really show off what the game was really about. It said you were, what was it called, freelancers, and you travel around this planet, and it had a section that was in first person. I don't know whether that's anywhere related to actual gameplay or not. And then they went flying off around this planet, and joined by people, and it was like, let's do this. And they said, this is representation of gameplay and stuff. It's like, that's absolutely not what gameplay is going to be like. You know, people are not that friendly when you play with them on a game. It's crazy. Even if you're playing with friends, they still go out of their way to mess with you and just completely screw things up. You cannot anticipate what it's genuinely going to be like. So I can't take that as a representative sample of what the hell the game's going to be like. And further to that, I just thought it just looked kind of generic. I know, I feel bad saying that because I want to like it. I like BioWare. But I don't I really didn't like it. I'm sorry, so sue me. And speaking of Microsoft, we have a definitive edition of the original Age of Empires. Now, I could be cynical and say that this is just a HD re-release type thing, similar to Age of Empires 2, but the game actually does look quite different. And I'm not sure whether that's a good thing, because although Age of Empires 2 was my favourite, I do hold a special place in my heart for the original Age of Empires. And the game, yeah, it looked pretty good. In terms of the upgrade, the animations are a lot more fluid. The graphics are a lot more kind of like nicer looking, just generally. I don't know whether that takes away some of the charm of the original Age of Empires. Plus, I'm not sure whether I can like a game where the trailer starts off with the bloody priests from Age of Empires 1 going woo-loo, woo-loo, as if it's a major thing. Oh my god, I am so hot. It's really warm here today. In England. Which sounds weird. It's warm in England. That's not a phrase that you should be saying. Ubisoft. What does Ubisoft go up to? Well, Far Cry 5 has had new trailers. Okay. As far as I can see, it's literally just Far Cry 3 and 4 again. They tried to innovate with Far Cry Primal, but it was just a primitive version of Far Cry 3 and 4. Instead of melee weapons, you had a spear. Instead of ranged weapons, you had a bow. And instead of tigers, you had saber-toothed tigers. Far Cry 5 is taking it to America, I think. And you have to fight against kind of like a religious sect. And there's already been complaints. There's already been backlash. Because of course there has. And the less I have to do with it, the better, to be perfectly honest. But all these games, and Assassin's Creed, you go to the Middle East and you slaughter hundreds of people on holy wars. On both sides, Christian and Muslims. Nobody really complained. You talk about a sect within America, and people lose their shit. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna go into it, but you know, these things, they happen, and it's annoying. I talked about Assassin's Creed Origins because for some reason it was talked about in the Microsoft one. Yeah. Marion Raving Rabbids. Just no. The less said about that, the absolute better. Don't nobody want any part of that. Probably the main thing about Ubisoft's conference was the fact that they finally officially announced Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, I know a few people who have lost their shit, mainly Marty, because he's been waiting for it for fucking years. And it looks alright. I haven't played the first one. That seems to be a common theme. I haven't played this game. Wait, I'll be getting around to the ones I played in a bit. But it does look good. It does look good. It looks decent. Looks weird as fuck, but it looks decent. I mean, the difference between the first one and this one in terms of graphics fidelity is frankly ridiculous, being that they look nothing alike. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they can take it in a new direction. Maybe they can do things with this one that they couldn't necessarily do with the first one. Expand on it. And, you know, maybe more games should have a, 15-year gap between the original and the sequel. I don't know. EA. Oh, do we really need to talk about EA? I mean, I don't want to. About the only thing worthy to say about them is we've already spoken about Anthem. Yes, you've got the normal slew of games. You've got FIFA 18, you've got Madden 18, got new Need for Speed, and you've got the Star Wars Battlefront 2, which people are apparently excited about. It's not. Why is there a second? This is exactly what I said would happen. People have stopped playing the first one because, you know, they will eventually get bored. So it's like, oh, chuck out another one. You know, it's the same with Titanfall. It's the same with every other game of this vein. That's why they release a new fucking Call of Duty every goddamn year. And speaking of Call of Duty, and Battlefield, to be fair, why have we suddenly gone back to the World Wars? I mean, originally, the gaming industry become absolutely saturated with war games, like World War One, World War Two games, more World War Two, like Medal of Honor, the original Call of Duties, and then we went into the whole Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare kicked it off, obviously, and that was a goddamn fantastic game. Second one, arguably not as good, but still decent. And then they all started to get complicated and blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of had a brief spat with the futuristic kind of shooter in space. But nobody really seemed to care about that. And then they've gone back to the World Wars. Now you've got the World War era, the modern era. Is that the only time periods do they know how to make for? I mean, if they want to make a war game, there's how many other periods in history have wars? Maybe the world wars are long ago enough so they can take artistic license with them. Maybe the modern wars are so topical that they can make them. But other wars, like, say, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, the Argentine War, I don't know, just various other wars, maybe they're worried about stepping on people's toes, or they don't think they can do it justice, or they just can't be asked. They don't think the audience is there. I'm sure an audience would be there for an American Civil War game, and an American Independence War game. That'd be quite interesting. You know, these games aren't about... If you're going to make a war game, you don't want it just to be shooty or kill everybody, which they seem to be about. And I know that's what sells copies. And I'm one to speak because I like Doom. Not just like running at 1,000 miles an hour, slaughtering everything in the most violent way possible. But that's clearly fantasy. That's clearly not realistic at all. You're fucking up demons from hell, for God's sake. In these games, the Call of Duty games and stuff, you're killing other human beings. You're killing people, and it's set in a realistic kind of environment. The least you could do was put some historical context to it so that you get people going away and looking it up. I mean, there have been too many Assassin's Creed games, but at the very least, they have created a culture of at least semi realism, and they encourage people to go away and look stuff up. I mean, even Assassin's Creed 3, again, they have the War of Independence. People would have played that and then gone away and looked it up and found out a few things. That's why they put famous face in it. It could just seem like, oh look kids, it's this famous guy. But at the end of the day, people will go like, oh, I wonder what they really did, and go and look it up. That's the least they could do. You know, it's not much I'm asking. Okay, I'm going to take a little break here to plug something. And then we're going to play 2 songs in a row because they're both short. And I'll come back with my favourite part of EA this year. And then we're going to have our triple track for the week. I love Tomb Raider. The original Tomb Raiders, I want to clarify. 1 to 4. Possibly Chronicles. And I love the soundtrack to them. Nathan McCree, the composer of Tomb Raider, currently has a Kickstarter going. The Kickstarter is to produce a full orchestral rendition of the Tomb Raider suite that he wrote for and produced and played at, I think it was the Royal Albert Hall a couple of months ago now. Now, I didn't actually manage to go to that, and I would have loved to. So having a physical copy of the suite with a full orchestral, band or orchestra, whatever, it's just fantastic. The Kickstarter is for £160,000. That's just over $200,000. And it has, at present, 7 days left to go. Currently has 1,507 backers. And it's currently at 106,371 from where I'm looking right now. And 7 days to go. We need to make this happen, because this is going to be amazing. There's a various amount of... by the way, he's not paying me to do this. He doesn't even know I'm doing this. I just think it's a really brilliant idea. You can pledge as little as £5. Or you can pledge right the way up to £7,500. There are all sorts of backer rewards, like you get a deluxe CD tin with the suite on. You can get vinyls with the suite on. You can get signed what they're called, leaflets from the concert, signed posters, signed music sheets, T-shirts. It's all there. I'll put the link to it in the description below, and you can and will go and back it. If you love Tomb Raider, if you love the original Tomb Raider, and you love the music, you will go and back this, because it's goddamn amazing. Anyway, in support of that, I'm going to play one of my favourite original Tomb Raider 1 tracks. It's quite short, but it's a bit where you've just got out... Well, you get just escaping from the tomb of Qualapec, I think it is. And basically the place is collapsing around you. And the first time I played it and heard that music, and it was just so intense and so, oh my god, this is amazing. And just to hear that with a full orchestra, it's beautiful. So here it is. Okay, that was the, it's just called track 3 on my list here. But the Escape from Tomb of Qualipec, I'm going to call it. And the second track was Deliani by Alexander Brennan and the game Tyrian. I don't know why I sounded so weird then. Tyrian. Anyway, let's get on to my favourite part of EA this year. The Bethesda conference. Haha, I love Bethesda. God damn, I love Bethesda. They've been coming with all kinds of brilliant stuff lately. Now, I am disappointed because there was no talk of a Doom 2. There was no talk of an Elder Scrolls 6. But there was talk of other things. Yeah, Fallout 4 and Doom are getting VR editions. Who the bloody hell cares? Well, those with VR headsets. But I don't really think that's a thing. Nintendo Switch is also getting Elder Scrolls Skyrim, which we knew. We knew, because it was in the bloody trailer for the Switch. The things I'm interested in is we're getting a new standalone Dishonored DLC. And you might think, okay, yeah, it was something similar like that in the first game. But this one, standalone one, called Death of the Outsider. Now I, goddamn, love the whole thing with the Outsider. He's so enigmatic. And he's not even a little bit enigmatic. You know literally nothing about him. And anything more about him would be absolutely brilliant. So this game, they're actually, like, you've got this new character called Billy, like a cyber augmented person. He's turned into Deus Ex, apparently. Who's been taught by Dowd, the assassin of the Empress. Now, it's obvious that this game is taking the canon, inverted commas, route of Dishonored, which is the good route. Because in the evil route, the high chaos, you would have been you could kill Dowd. So it's obvious they're taking the good route because he's still alive in this one, or at least he was in the trailer, and he was an old guy, as everybody else was in Dishonored 2. And he's you got Billy Gunn like fighting for him, doing the typical Dishonored stuff, blinking, assassinating, but her design is really cool. She gets to his prison cell and Dowd's tied up in there and everything. And he's kind of like, okay, it's time to kill that black-eyed bastard. And it's just got this shot of the Outsider just looking up. And it's like, oh, that's going to be fucking awesome. Because all the games, the Outsider's kind of been this force of nature that's just been on the sidelines, kind of watching things. Yeah, he gives you the powers, but it's kind of been just there. But now it looks like he's gonna take an active part, and I'm really excited about that. I mean, you have no idea. It's gonna be so good. Second up, we have The Evil Within 2. Didn't play The Evil Within. Watched a Let's Play of it. It's a weird game. I really quite liked it, because it was weird. Yeah, it got too much like Resident Evil, the original Resident Evils in the end, with big, grotesque, kind of mergy monsters that just fight them. But the kind of psychological aspect of it, and the fact that it was a bit of spoilers, if you can work it out. I couldn't even work the bloody game out. The fact that you have, like, illusions within illusions, dreams within dreams, kind of Inception style, and you end up not knowing whether he's in the real world or not at the end. That I enjoyed. That I really liked. And I am going to get around to playing it myself eventually. And I hope that The Evil Within keeps that kind of weirdness and doesn't kind of crap out on us and go and make it easy to understand, because that's just going to be boring if it's easy to understand. Okay, so we've come to the major part that I'm excited about. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, dear Christ. It looks so good. Oh, my God. Wolfenstein has never been a, it's never been a stranger to crazy shit. And the trailer for Wolfenstein 2 just kind of goes balls to the wall, not so. There's this bit where BJ's in this impenetrable kind of helmet, and he's just holding this guy over a chasm, kind of like elevator lift thing, and he's so nonchalantly doing it. It's so awesome. It's just other women just shooting him in the head, and he's like, "Look, guys, I'm on your side," and it's really awesome. It's and one part of the trailer, this Nazi comes into a kind of American diner and asks for a milkshake, and it's so slimy and creepy how he does it. He's just, I don't know. This woman and a child kind of run away and from him, and he's like, let's go, and he's kind of like, little kid, and he just rubs his head as though he's like an everyday thing, and I don't know, it's just done so well. I really loved the first game. When I say first game, I'll get onto that in a minute, but it was so wacky at times. You went to the moon and fought Nazis on the moon at one point, but it's just done so well. I'm thoroughly looking forward to the second one. And now we get to it. The second one. Technically, this is the third in the reboot series of Wolfenstein. Because back in the day, you had Wolfenstein, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, everything. Incidentally, Return to Castle Wolfenstein was one of my university friends' favourite game. It seemed he played it about 4 times while we were at university. But back in, I think it was 2006 or something, there was a game, Wolfenstein. And characters and events were referenced in The New Order from that game. So technically, The New Order was a sequel to that. So now they called the new Colossus Wolfenstein 2. And it doesn't match up. Now, if they had called it Wolfenstein The New Order 2, The New Colossus, then that would make more sense, but that would be a really overcomplicated name. So I don't know what they're playing at. I think they just want to, because that Wolfenstein didn't get very good reviews. People didn't really like it. The New Order, everybody fucking loved. So I think they're trying to distance themselves. They didn't realise how good The New Order was going to be in comparison, so they kind of tied it in as a sequel. And now they're trying to back away from that original game and being like, no, that didn't really exist. It's fine, don't worry about it. But I've never played that game. I'm debating whether to play it. I just kind of looked up the bits I needed to from The New Order. But yeah, Bethesda's definitely my favourite. I'm nearly coughing to death now. So here you are. You can have your triple track of the week while I go and cool down and cough a little bit because I got hay fever and it's really hot here. So enjoy. So there you have it. E3 2017. Or at least my abridged, somewhat scattershot attempt at going over everything. It's just me basically saying, don't care about that, don't care about that, don't care about that. I love this, don't care about that. There were a few other things which I haven't talked about because, frankly, I don't care. There was this other game. I'm not actually a games journalist or anything, so I just basically ramble about the stuff I like, ramble about the stuff I didn't like, see how everything goes. But there was this, one of the games was, I think it was called Get Out, not in relation to that new film Get Out, but it's basically it's a video game version of Prison Break that apparently turned into GTA. So just go and play the Prison Breakout mission on GTA Online. You'll get the same experience. It's fine. Anyway, that's the webcast radio for this bi-weekly whatever. I haven't really got a schedule down. I'm going to try and work out a schedule for this every other week and Law Store every other week, but Law Store's not exactly easy to make. But I'll leave you with An End Once and For All by Clint Mansell and Sam Hulick from the widely kind of debated decency of game Mass Effect 3. I really can't get my words out today, I'm too hot. Hope you all have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.